It's my pleasure to be here today. I just present, highlight what will be the challenge of secure, sustainable infrastructure. What will be the challenge for connected construction industry, and what will be the role of distributed ledger to provide a secure and sustainable infrastructure, and in particular the IOTA ledger. We have seen, and we see, and you probably better than us, that we are technology provider. You are the sector expert. Current trends that are transforming the construction industry. So construction industry is definitely receiving more and more connectivity, so the ability as well to become smarter and more intelligent with the integration of Internet of Things, IoT device, sensors, and as well ability of this device to extract data and knowledge at the edge, and as well new connectivity, new technologies for connectivity like 5G, but as well cloud that allow to mix different services and create more service in the cloud, and support also mobility and ability to follow items and workers as well in the construction industry, and providing data for AI and automation, and creating new, not only new knowledge, but new way of actuating on this data. So all of this is creating a new way of doing construction. Or construction will follow this trend. It's seen also in other industries, and will become much more connected. It will become an industry that will see an increased need of managing and secure a large amount of IoT data as well as device, where actually, yes, security and speed of maintaining data secure will play a crucial role. So having this in mind, there will be opportunities, there will be new way of running the construction industry, but there will be also more risk and challenges. So IoT monitoring will bring definitely a more pervasive and better way to monitor and actuating life and work inside construction sites, or as well before, or even after actually building are used to provide smart building, as well as when you commission the building. So there will be possibility to monitor building in the whole life cycle. But this, of course, doesn't come for free. This will bring definitely security challenge, and when security will need to be guaranteed, data integrity should be possible, and as well access control to this data. So most of this data will also represent sensing from a critical infrastructure that can become target for cyber physical threats. Of course, like we said, there is a new way of achieving connectivities. 5G as well is actually developing new technology that will allow with the private mobile radio network, 5G private mobile radio network, to basically cover construction sites. There are also other IoT technology that are good enough to cover large areas with little consumption, and this brings again new way of observing things that was not possible observed before, and create a new environment, like not only inside well-connected area, but also in rural areas. So there could be the concept of smart construction sites coming on. But again, there will be challenge on managing identity, challenge on managing who actually can access the network infrastructure. So what kind of device actually can access this new way of deploying connectivity? So there is the need also to control and prevent malicious attempt to use this infrastructure. So everything will be connected, and of course worker might become connected as well in construction sites or in the industry as a whole, but this will definitely increase their safety, the security of work environment and sites, but it will raise privacy issues. There will be the need also for this data to be secure and their privacy to be guaranteed. All of this to say that a lot of work ahead, a lot of new trends coming together, bringing new opportunities and risk. And there is also another technology, which is blockchain, that we think can play a role to provide a unique way to capitalize on these trends and also mitigate some of the risk. And we are going to see how. So, but in general, blockchain can enable ecosystem now to transact securely. So we think about construction. It's not mainly only by one stakeholder. There are many parties coming together that are to produce the construction stakeholder. There are also who produce material and many other. So the blockchain can really be the ledger where this party can securely trust and providing auditable information for as a first scenario and use case without needing intermediaries. Digital twin, for instance, can start to log their data on blockchain and become immutable and auditable. As well as another trend in the blockchain industry, it's the creation of decentralized digital identities. Centralized digital identities does not require anymore one single point of failure, one single organization that is able to manage identity and using identity to give access control of verifying integrity of information provided by a given identity, but this can be done in a much more decentralized way. That's why now we start to see the possibility for different ecosystems to share information about different identities. This can come from identities of people, identities of things, in a way that increase the overall security and remove as well the risk of containing or maintaining all this information in a central point. So, and digital twin now can come from sensors that can be also verified. It's not only the information of digital twins going on distributed ledger and becoming immutable, but also digital twin, the different elements that contribute to a digital twin, the sensing environment. So all this data can be authenticated, so can be verified by any party involved in the process. That is actually the real sensor that we expect to be deployed in a given location is generating the data for this digital twin. So this will all increase the privacy, the security of this data. And finally, smart contracts will help maybe in a longer time, but will help in automating access to data device, as well as having an additional way to create automation and as well as generating new revenue streams. So if you think about now different model like the energy sector and the smart energy sector and the smart buildings that can generate energy and sell energy, excess of energy through renewable energies, they can do this using tokens on blockchain, automated use of smart contracts. So there are different trends in the blockchain industry as well that can help to mitigate some of the risk that we have seen before and help to capitalize some of the opportunities. But not all the blockchains are built equal. So blockchains that play a role in this environment will have to follow some requirements. So they will need to basically be able to scale to the volume and the speed of transaction that you can imagine. So if you imagine a digital twin that monitors the energy efficiency of a building, so you might expect a lot of data. So you don't want to be constrained by the speed of a blockchain and the scalability of a blockchain to support that. And you need to have a blockchain that is flexible enough to accept different type of data, so can also follow standards. So it's not the blockchain deciding how the data should be ingested, but it's flexible enough to not change what are established, let's say, practices in the industry as well. So of course, you need to comply most likely to regulation. Now this data will be maintained, stored, and so you need a blockchain that is able to adapt also to this. And you need to have a blockchain that is not only permissionless, like might know some of the blockchains, so you don't know who actually run a blockchain, a node that is part of the network, but you maybe want to identify who are these parties. And of course, you need something that it's accessible, open source, and able to empower different stakeholders to experiment and work together in an easy way. We have built a technology that we think can satisfy that. So that is IOTA. IOTA technology, it's not a blockchain itself. It's a distributed ledger. So it's a bigger, let's say, set of, technology that have the same property of blockchain, but somehow overcome some of their drawbacks. And in particular, it's a blockchain or distributed ledger without blocks. So IOTA uses a different data structure, which is called DAG, is direct acyclic graph. The main difference is that you don't create blocks, and you don't see this being a sequence process like you have in the blockchain, so to mine transaction, but in the IOTA ledger being a DAG, you can parallelize much more the work. And this lead to scalability. So you have scalability by design, lead to the possibility to have a technology that is not only scalable, but it's fast, feeless, and energy efficient. So you don't require the expensive proof of work that other blockchain have, and you don't require the fees that have to incentivize the work in blockchain, because there's much more equality now on different nodes in the network to perform the task of validating transactions. So you need also to have a network, flexible enough to be permissioned and permissionless. Like explained before, you can set up a private network for design hybrid solutions, so you can always control who actually is running the ledger that hosts the data for the industry that we are talking about now. And of course, you can integrate in an easy way with different stakeholders, with different devices, and with different technology because of the lightweight design of the technology itself. Just to summarize, these are few of the features that IOTA has that we think can be good for the industry itself. The important thing is, like I said before, it's building on a layer architecture that IOTA has, dividing by the core protocol that guarantee immutability, the ability to create different second layer protocol that can be useful for different scenarios, like we said, smart contract, decentralized identities in future tokenization, as well as start to build on top of that any sort of service, because you are not constrained by the type of information that you can store on a distributed ledger. So that's what we are building, we are providing. So you don't see here yet, but here I expect to see construction tools that allow the different stakeholders in the industry to use the ledger in a flexible way based on the just give you, I don't know how much time I have left, just give you, let's say, a quick heads up on a few things that a blockchain can help to combine with the other technology, and looking back to the challenge that we discussed before. So we are working on a few use cases. One of those is using decentralized identity to create verifiable worker credentials. So a credential usually is a certificate that any person that owns an identity, a centralized identity, can hold in its digital wallet. We don't know what will be the final form of this digital wallet. We know that also European Commission is working for a digital wallet for European citizens. Fortunately, here we are in UK. Let's hope that also UK will follow with similar initiatives, so that there will be also interoperability around that. But the idea is that a person with this identity can carry his own attribute and certificate in a way that he brings in his pocket, in his digital wallet, and everybody else can verify and trust what this is from this person, like we can really trust when we receive some money in the paper format. They are fake with some check. So this check will be supported by the blockchain and the IOTA Tangle and IOTA in this case, and the standard protocol for the centralized identity, which is called W3C standard. But the real innovation here is now that workers can bring with them the certificate that says what they're qualified for, what they're good for. So this allows the mobility of worker and the verification and access to good worker in a way that is much more fast and seamless for the industry, and also trusted. So decentralized identity can play a role in that. We are also experimenting in other projects that relate to construction industry, but also to mining industry, mining of precious material, for instance, and try to build, like I said before, more trusted, let's say, secure digital twin, where we can attach identity of device to verify the device source, and also use the immutability of the ledger to share information about digital twin. So in a way that basically digital twin becomes auditable and trusted, even if the party are not in the same system, those that generate the data and those that have to verify the data. So one example we are doing, we are doing this now. It's in the mine industry, and monitoring the physical condition of the worker in the mine itself, to understand the way they're working, if there is any issue, in a very prompt and timely way. And finally, like I said before, there is a lot of monitoring and ability to trust the data about monitoring. We are working on a project with the Canadian government for the environment and climate, and building a secure and trusted way of monitoring GHG monitoring using distributed ledger and using again identity of the sensor that give guarantee that data are authenticated and data are stored auditable on a distributed ledger. So in a way that basically we can provide digital monitoring, reporting, and verification system that is trusted across different parties. One last project that target the security of IoT device, in this case IoT meter. It's about, like I said before, the concept of peer-to-peer energy trading and let's say energy marketplace, where object that create energy like solar panel can sell energy to other objects in a community that store energy like batteries. All of them, they need to be then authenticated. All of them, they need to generate trusted data about the amount of energy that they can create, they can sell, the amount of energy that they have as a surplus that they can sell, as well as the identity of those that are actually asking this kind of energy, in order to establish transactions that are trusted, that allow this device as well to generate value by selling their energy or acquiring value by basically buying energy. There is the need for having trusted IoT device and avoid, for instance, malicious attack to the infrastructure, the way to steal, for instance, money by offering energy that doesn't exist, and so on and so forth. All of this can be resolved by integrating the centralized identity with and distributed ledger with IoT device. In this case, smart meter, a project that we are working on called Plastic Exchange at European level. That's pretty much about it. So I think that we are looking for a more connected world. In this case, a construction industry becomes more and more connected with IoT that can unlock opportunities and data across community. And we think that all of that will be about securing this data and guarantee that the trust on who access and where this is coming from. And yeah, we think that there is a lot of potential for distributed ledger and IoT in particular, and that we hope that we can see more and more projects in the industry that we will be happy to support. So that's about it. That was me. Hopefully not too long, not too fast. And I'm happy if there are further questions to discuss here or offline.